This is the story that will not go away. Now it's coming to fruition. A date has been chosen for that Alec Baldwin Rust trial.
Ooh.
He's going to face charges of involuntary manslaughter following the death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins. I don't know if you've seen pictures of Alec lately, but you can tell the wear and tear this has taken on him. He doesn't look good.
I wonder if this is going to be televised.
That would be unbelievable.
I mean, next to OJ way back when, can you think of a bigger one? I mean, I know that
No.
the thing over the summer, was it, what's his name? Not Johnny Depp. Was it Johnny Depp? No. What was the one with, yeah, Johnny Depp.
Oh, that was infamous, yes.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one, but this is a whole new level.
Trial is expected to last 8 days. Selection is set for July 9th. Prosecutors, remember, originally dismissed charges against him, but then a grand jury indicted him after prosecutors got new analysis on the revolver used. He's pleaded not guilty, as you know. He was pointing the gun at her. How do you live with yourself after that? I mean, this has to have haunted him.
Oh, it's a tragedy all around.
A big tragedy. Another courtroom scene that I totally forgot this story. Don Henley from the Eagles, currently in court in New York for the criminal trial of 3 men accused of illegally possessing 100 pages of handwritten lyrics that he says are rightfully his. So on the stand this week, he faced questions about his arrest in 1980 after a 16-year-old prostitute suffered an overdose at his home.
Ooh.
Do you remember that infamous story?
No, I've never heard that ever.
Yeah, well, keep in mind it was the prosecution who were on his side that brought it up because they were trying to get ahead of the defense, which was going to question him about it. Don said he called a sex worker to, quote, escape the depression he was following after the Eagles' breakup that year. But he added, quote, I made a poor decision, which I regret to this day. I had to live with it for 44 years. I'm still living with it today in this courtroom. Poor decision. He also noted that they had not had sex, that he was the one who called firefighters to help her, and that he did not know she was underage until he was arrested.
Damn.
Can you imagine that happening?
No, never heard that story ever.
Yeah, that story is, I heard about it, but completely forgot about it. Now it's got to be dredged up after all these years.
Well, go watch that documentary. I've said it before. It's like 4 hours long on the Eagles. Even if you don't like the Eagles, it is full of drama.
I wanted to bring this back up again because you watched this. Sort of an update. Wendy Williams, producers of that doc, if we had known she had dementia, no one would have rolled a camera. At a certain point, the producer, Mark Ford, said, we were worried about what would happen if we stopped filming than if we continued it. So for the better part of a year, she had cameras rolling, documenting her fragile state. They found herself in. She alternately craved her family. She missed her TV platform. She was having excessive amounts of alcohol while struggling to remain coherent. What ultimately came out of that footage is this raw, devastating 4-hour-plus documentary, which you saw on Lifetime.
I'm still watching, and the other episodes were dropped, and I started watching it. And what's weird is they didn't know, this dementia thing is very recent. So this was already in the pipeline and already going to television. And what is weird about it is watching it with now knowing the story, there are moments when they're holding the camera on her when you think, man, this is really uncomfortable. And there are moments that feel like, yes, had they known, of course they wouldn't have done this. But they thought she was just being wacky, I think, at the time, and they thought it was alcohol-driven, but yet she was signing off on it, and she had the control.
Well, that's what's weird, is that the producers are saying, if we had known she'd had dementia, no one would have rolled a camera. But then we were worried if we stopped rolling the camera. One
of the saddest parts that I watched in the last episode was when they went out to L.A., and this was against everyone. She just did it. She took this assistant that she pays basically to be her friend, and they went to find her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and she gets out and just stands there at her star, and people are walking by and they're like, you ever watch a Wendy Williams show? I'm Wendy. She's just craving for attention. The way they portray her, she has no friends.
It's very, very sad to see this unfold on camera. It makes me uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable. I'm watching it as a research project at this point. It's just, from someone going through dementia with their family, me right now with my dad, it really shines a light because I'm seeing some of these behavioral things with him, but it is really uncomfortable to watch.
And then you think about what Bruce Willis's family is going through.
His must be different, or it must make your personality go a different direction and really amplify it in one way or the other, because their behaviors are completely different.
Another sad story, I'm sure you've seen this, because you and I talked about Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that Foreigner is up for being inducted. Well, Mick Jones, the co-founder and guitarist for Foreigner, revealed on social media Wednesday he's battling Parkinson's disease.
Man.
Explaining his absence from their live shows since 2022. He wrote in an Instagram post that he was diagnosed with Parkinson's several years ago. I want everyone to know that I'm doing all right. However, I've always liked to be at my best when performing on stage, and sadly, at present, I find that a bit difficult. He and his former band member Lou Gramm have written, they wrote all the big hits. Feels Like the First Time, Hot Blooded, Double Vision, I Want to Know What Love Is.
Huge hits.
He says it's a daily struggle.
And that's one disease that even if you screen and you catch, you're predisposed to have it, you can't do anything about it.
Very sad.
I mean, that's a tough one.
Shall we go and see what's been happening on some of the late night TV shows and just
Please.
TV shows in general? You knew this would happen, that someone would ask. Seth Meyers asking President Joe Biden if there is a conspiracy between himself and Taylor Swift and if she will endorse him.
Now, I have you on the hot spot here. Can you confirm or deny that there is an active conspiracy between you and Miss Swift?
Where are you getting this information? It's classified.
It's classified information?
That's classified
You won't
information.
share it with us?
I'm not gonna, but I will tell you, she did endorse me in 2020.
She did. I bet you might be wondering. You think it might come around again?
I told you it's classified.
I think that might be a no. I mean, what have you done for me? She did in 2020.
I knew someone would ask. Let's go over to Jimmy Fallon. Dune 2 coming out this weekend. Austin Butler met Sting during the Part 2 premiere. Remember, Sting played Butler's character in the original Dune movie. Here he is talking about it with Jimmy Fallon.
You're so lovely and just debonair. And,
Oh, is this stuff?
and I asked about it, and he said he still has the cod piece from the original one. He said he's going to dry clean it and let me wear it if I want to.
He's got the cod piece. Hey, would you like to borrow this?
Those they do. I could see the similar looks between the two at that age.
Yeah. And finally, Joe Manganiello on the Today Show explained why he applied for Italian citizenship.
I'm a lot of things genealogically, but I am mostly Italian and Sicilian.
Okay.
And so we ran that back, and I qualified for Italian citizenship. And I always wanted to live there, and I go there pretty much every year.
Why he didn't do that sooner. That's your celebrity sleaze
Have you seen the Deal or No Deal Island yet?
that he's hosting.
Yeah.
I haven't. I knew he was hosting. Is it a good?
I can't bring myself to it. Says the guy who watches like the lowest of the low reality shows. I haven't gotten that far.
Haven't gotten there yet.
Haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, this story, Taylor Swift's camp hitting back at claims that her dad, Scott, assaulted photographers in Australia. Yeah, he was accused of assaulting a paparazzi while the pair were out in Australia early Tuesday. Now, the story is that he allegedly slugged a photographer. Now, her camp is going, no, that did not happen. Let us just set the record straight. Two individuals were aggressively pushing their way towards Taylor, grabbing at her security personnel and threatening to throw a female staff member into the water. And Scott stepped in. Yeah, this story is now unfolding.
Sucks.
He said, she said.
It sucks because you will be the bad guy. Like, if you're in the Taylor Swift camp, if you just sneeze someone's direction, you're the bad guy.
Did you hear the record that she just broke? Another record?
It doesn't even shock me anymore.
Passing the Beatles for the most weeks in Billboard's 200 Top 10 in the last 60 years. Woo!
Honestly, she could run for president this year and just announce it now and probably win.
I saw that story and I was like, wow.
Of all the years. Yeah.
That's insane. Okay, they may insist that they're not romantically involved, but let's say they might do another movie together. This happened at the SAG Awards. Glenn Powell told Variety that he and Sydney Sweeney are reading scripts to find a new movie to make together after their romantic comedy, Anyone But You, big box office success. Remember, I texted you over the weekend that I watched it.
Is she the it girl right now?
I think she is, and I will tell you this. Yes, it's a rom-com. Yes, it's, kind of a chick flick. But Lanny watched it with me. He laughed through the whole movie. It is really funny.
You know what other trailer just dropped? And talk about a comeback. This movie looks cute. I mean, it's called Irish Wish. It's Michael Damian's. They wrote and directed it. Our buddy, Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, wow.
It's coming to Netflix. I think it drops in a few weeks, and kudos to them. It looks beautifully shot, and
I love it.
She's in Atlanta right now filming some other movie. I tried to see if he could get her to get on, and her schedule's just whack.
Well, yeah, there were all these rumors going around about the chemistry between Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney, and she felt really bad about it because they are both in relationships, and she's like, hey, we had a great time. He's a great friend of mine, and of course, you cannot, every single magazine, it's about, are they together? Did something happen?
Yeah, it's clickbait. It's what it's all about these days, sadly.
And sadly, life doesn't come to a halt just because you're battling cancer. This story, Barnes, Shannon Doherty admitted, though, that one aspect of her life has changed significantly. Can you guess what that is?
Having cancer, there are probably a lot of answers.
On her Let's Be Clear podcast with friend and model Anne Marie Courtwright, listen to this.
I mean, listen, when you're feeling not great about yourself, that's going to kill your libido. But then when it actually impacts your libido, when meds take your libido away, or it makes, things not as pleasant.
That's her friend Anne Marie Courtwright. She accompanied her to a doctor who told Shannon Doherty one thing she can do is address this in a quote-unquote solo manner, so to speak, giving her something to aid in this. Quote, she's got all these little displays of things, of toys. Then she goes, here, Shannon, take this. Courtwright said the next day, she and Shannon Doherty, how did it go? And her friend admitted the sex toy was still in my bag. I think it stayed in my bag for a really long time. Shannon said, I'm turning a little red, like literally talking about it right now.
Oh, I thought you were saying because of overuse.
No, she hadn't used it.
You're being so official with this story. I'm having a hard time following.
I know. Little levity there for Shannon Doherty. Have you been following the Derek Huff story? His wife had that huge medical scare, led to multiple brain surgeries.
That's a scary thing.
It's really scary. And, he's talking about it the other day with Jennifer Hudson.
She is doing amazing. She is an absolute miracle.
So beautiful.
Miraculous. It's been a roller coaster, It's been wild.
She could probably never dance again.
It's a very sad story. Kevin Costner, I had no idea that he's been working on this for this long. He released the first full trailer for Horizon, an American saga, his big, ambitious 4-part post-Civil War Western that, of course, helped lure him away from, the other one, Yellowstone. Check this out.
Yeah, a hard pass for me on this one. He needs to come out of this era.
These people think that if you're tough enough, smart enough, and mean enough, all this will be there someday. There's no army of this earth that's going to stop those wagons coming.
Man, everything is going backwards. Can we get back to the future?
Now, do we remember the last epic that he worked on for years and years and years?
Waterworld?
And yes.
Was that it?
Yes.
The hype on that thing.
Exactly. Is that what's going to happen here? So on this one, Horizon, he co-wrote, directed, and stars in the series. It's going to be released in theaters June 28th, followed by its second chapter 2 months later. The second two films haven't been shot yet. The film has been a 30-year journey, Barnes. 30 years. He even took out a loan on his Santa Barbara home to finance this movie.
A loan?
He took out a loan. Costner notes the first two films added $100 million to the economy in Utah, where they were shot. Yeah, he used his own money.
Well, on the Kevin Costner file, you know who's been missing from social media quite a bit is Jewel.
No, I just saw her the other day.
No, she's resurfaced, but there's been a huge gap. I wonder if they were,
Oh, what happened?
Maybe he was like, hey, DL, if they're still together. I don't know if they're still hanging, but it seemed kind of weird.
Will we see her in this epic drama?
Because she's a big oversharer. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. I want to know what you think about this. After weeks of speculation, it is official. Ryan Gosling will perform I'm Just Ken from Barbie at the Oscars.
Well, now I can sleep. But what is that the type of, and you're an awards specialist. You work in the industry.
I think they're doing this for ratings.
But my question is, if that movie won an Oscar beyond something like
Best whatever.
props, music, would there be backlash? That's my first question. And the second one is, could it win for music and shut out some other really reputable, musicians?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, having him perform, that's a ratings winner. It's nominated for Best Original Song, and he's up for Best Supporting Actor. The first round of Oscar presenters also announced Nicolas Cage, Jamie Lee Curtis, Brendan Fraser, Zendaya, Matthew McConaughey, Michelle Pfeiffer, Al Pacino. March 10th. Let's do it. Jimmy Kimmel hosting the Oscars. That's your Celebrity Sleaze.